Good morning, church. Today's topic is wait. This portion is taken from Isaiah 40, verse 31, where it says, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles." The first mention of wait provokes or elicits a response of the question as to how long, except in some cases where you're at the doctor's or you're waiting for an interview for your turn to come. After all, while waiting, we aren't actually doing anything, so it seems, or are we actually doing? As for me personally, waiting is the most active thing, because when I'm waiting, the more I wait, the more I begin to scream from within for something to happen or that somebody to come. I may call up, and it's the most active thing for me personally. As of now, waiting has become a mental condition for us. What with the lockdown since March 23rd to now, and as we see that there are norms in place, like even if there is a respite that they allow us to go out, there is a prerequisite that's required, and you got to have a mask on, you got to maintain social distancing, you got to stand in a queue for your turn to come. Even the most impatient man waits out there. When you wait for somebody or something, it's a posture of submission to that somebody or something. In this promise we read that when you wait upon the Lord, He shall renew your strength. We choose to humbly wait and humble ourselves before the Almighty and acknowledge that His will and direction is what we are seeking. We are honoring God and choosing not to lean on our own understanding, as mentioned in Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. There is also waiting in which Satan has his own ways, in which it says, "And he waits until an opportune time, and then he strikes." Today we see that it's actually conditioning the mind of man on the outside of Christ. He is conditioning the mind of a man to accept and agree to his norms at a certain way, in a certain direction, in a certain place, at a certain time. Today we see establishments that have put up boards which says, "No mask, no service." In the coming days you'll see "No mark, no sale," as mentioned in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 to 17. You see where we are heading? We are all heading towards that plan of the enemy. Today we believers wait and watch as all the prophecies in the Bible unfold, and the world doesn't know about it. They think it's a norm, and they agree, and they go in throngs. What with this 2 days ago, on the 21st of June, the world witnessed the solar eclipse that happened across the globe. From the west it came to the east, and it was called the Ring of Fire. It provoked Satan worshippers across America. In 22 cities they took out marches, which they carried placards saying, "Out with God," out of California, out of Buffalo, out of Boston, in defiance and demand for one world order. With this Floyd thing happening, everything was stripped out. All these statues across America, all the people of America, the fathers who founded America, the statues were stripped down, and they planned to put satanic worship statues or idols in place for worship for Satan worshippers. Now, when we look at all this, we know that the rise begins. But only we believers are warned of the days to come, as we are trained to set our minds above, as we look and wait upon the Lord in our own enclosed homes and places of worship where we come together, and we worshippers where we meet across on social medium, where we have this Word of God every Sunday on Wednesday, and the Bible college, the knowledge that we've received from the Word, is where we look to. We look above. In Isaiah 40:15 it says, "Behold, the nations are like a drop out of a bucket." In verse 17 it says, "All the nations are as nothing before Him." In verse 22 it says, "He who sits on the circle of the earth." And verse 23 says, "He makes the rulers of the earth as emptiness." Finished. So you see, the world or the rulers should not elicit fear in us. It should be our trust in God. For in Isaiah 41, 9 to 10, it says, I have chosen you and not cast you off. Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Wait